Welcome to Neural Nexus Podcast, where we explore the hottest topics shaping the world. Let's dive in.
Good morning. Okay, picture this. A really calm morning in Hayward, California. You're looking in on 74-year-old John Arthur Getreu. He's just an elderly homeowner, he thinks, dealing with maybe a minor car accident in his driveway.
Right, but what he absolutely doesn't realize is that the person talking to him, an undercover officer, and this whole everyday encounter, it's actually a meticulously planned ruse.
A ruse designed to unravel a secret he's managed to keep hidden for decades.
Exactly. And our mission today in this deep dive is to show you just how cold case investigators, using really cutting-edge DNA tech, how they peeled back the layers of what looked like a totally ordinary life.
To expose this shocking, decades-long hidden past.
Yeah. We're going to trace the surprising facts, the key moments that led investigators to catch a serial killer, long after he must have thought he'd gotten away completely clean.
And for this deep dive, we're pulling from some really compelling stuff, excerpts from the transcript of a YouTube video. Serial killer realizes he's been caught 45 years later. It's from the EWU Crime Storytime channel.
And it includes official police records, even some previously unseen footage. It's quite the source.
Okay, so let's get into it. Back to Hayward that morning.
So John Arthur Getreu is 74 years old. He's caught totally off guard. This undercover officer pretends he clipped Getreu's car trying to turn around in the driveway. Simple enough, right?
Sounds plausible. And Getreu buys it.
Completely. He actually compliments the deputies later, says something like, "That was a good line to get him outside." He even mentions his wife's at work.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the deputies are like, "Don't worry, we'll take care of your dog," as they just calmly lead him over to the police car.
The sheer normalcy of it all.
Ever.
A minor fender bender. But underneath, this huge hidden truth he's about to face.
And he has, zero idea why he's actually being arrested at this point. It's just a pat down, some friendly chat, then into the car.
So the ruse works perfectly. But that wasn't even the main part of the investigation, was it? The real breakthrough came earlier.
Oh, not even close. Months before this, cold case investigators back in Santa Clara County had reopened a murder case. A really cold one. 45 years unsolved.
45 years. That's incredible.
And this wasn't just running DNA through CODIS, the police database. This was forensic genetic genealogy. They took tiny, maybe even degraded DNA samples from the original crime scene.
From way back then.
Yep. Created a genetic profile and then uploaded it to public genealogy databases, the kind people use to trace their family trees.
So like Ancestry or GED Match, those sites.
Exactly. Sites where people voluntarily share their DNA info. This widened the net massively compared to just police databases of offenders.
Right, because you might find a third cousin or someone even more distant.
Precisely. And from there, they painstakingly built out family trees, sometimes going back generations, trying to zero in on potential suspects.
That sounds like a monumental task.
It is, but it led them directly to John Arthur Getreu, a man known in his community as, a husband, a father, even a former Boy Scout leader.
A Boy Scout leader. So outwardly, just a normal, contributing member of society.
That's the picture. Which led the investigators to this huge question. Is this devoted family man actually the wrong guy? Or has his entire life been this incredibly elaborate cover?
That's the core of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the interrogation starts. Sergeant Cortez is leading it.
Getreu gives the basics first. Born in Ohio, moved around a lot, father was in the military, spent his teen years in West Germany on a U.S. military base. Pretty standard stuff.
Okay. And then?
Then Getreu claims he's never been arrested. Not once. And that's when Sergeant Cortez, drops the bombshell. He says he knows about something that happened back in Germany.
And how does Getreu react to that?
Well, this is where the first crack appears. He admits it. He says, "I was accused of murder," and then clarifies, "I killed a chaplain's daughter."
Just like that. He admits it.
He admits the accusation and the core fact. The victim was Margaret Williams. She was only 15. This is back in 1963. Getreu was 18. Yeah. She'd been at a dance at an American youth club, met Getreu on the street afterwards, agreed to let him walk her home. Her body was found the next day on a baseball diamond.
Oh, God. And the details.
Sexually assaulted and strangled.
But Getreu, even when admitting this connection, what was his story back then?
He still tried to maintain innocence in the details. He claimed he didn't really know her, but yeah, someone saw him walking near where she was found.
So despite that claim, what actually happened legally in Germany?
Well, they didn't buy his story. He was found guilty. Because he was 18, he got sentenced to 10 years in a German juvenile prison.
10 years. Did he serve it all?
No, he served about 2/3, roughly 6 years. Then he was released. His father picked him up at McGuire Air Force Base in the U.S.
And that was it? Just back into society.
That was it. He apparently never heard another word about the German conviction. It's kind of remarkable, really, how easily he just seemed to slip back in after something so horrific.
And sadly, his history of violence wasn't over, was it? After coming back to the States, he moves to California.
That's right. And fast forward to 1975, another brush with the law, this time in Palo Alto.
What happened there?
He was accused of sexual assault, and get this, at the time, he was a leader for an explorer post.
An explorer post, like the youth program, often linked with police departments.
Exactly, giving young people insight into careers, often law enforcement. So Sergeant Cortez brings this 1975 accusation up in the interrogation.
And Getreu's reaction this time?
Initially, total dismissal. Says nothing happened, claims he wasn't tried for it.
But that wasn't the truth, was it? What did the records show?
No, the records and news sources from the time tell a different story. A teenager accused him of assault, strangulation, and threatening to kill her if she didn't comply. Really serious stuff.
And the consequence for that?
Well, despite his denial now, he did face consequences then. He got a 6-month sentence, but he only actually served 30 days. On weekends.
Only 30 days? For assault and strangulation?
Yep. 5 months were suspended. Basically a slap on the wrist, considering the accusation.
Okay, so we have the murder conviction in Germany, this assault incident in Palo Alto. His past is starting to look much darker than the family man image.
Definitely. So Sergeant Cortez starts steering the conversation towards the Stanford and Palo Alto Hills area. Getreu, despite being a former scout leader who you'd think would know the area.
Right, you'd expect familiarity.
He denies knowing the specific Page Mill Road area well, claims he hiked different hills, which is interesting because this is where Leslie Marie Perloff comes in.
Leslie Perloff. This is one of the cold cases reopened, right?
Exactly. She was 21, a Stanford University graduate working as a law clerk. Back in 1973, her body was found dumped in the Stanford dish hiking area.
And how was she killed?
Strangled, with a floral scarf found tightly knotted around her neck.
And the DNA link.
This is key. DNA found beneath her fingernails from the struggle. That DNA eventually led investigators straight to John Getreu.
And Getreu's connection to the area at the time.
He actually worked as a security guard near the Stanford campus around then.
Okay, so proximity and now DNA. How does he respond when confronted about Leslie?
Same pattern. Denies knowing her. Denies seeing her car, an orange 1972 Chevy Nova found near the scene. Standard denial.
But then there's a slip, isn't there? Something he says that he shouldn't know.
Yes. This is a fascinating moment. Sergeant Cortez hasn't mentioned Leslie was a Stanford graduate, but Getreu, completely unprompted, sort of implies it. He says something like, well, just by the way she dresses and all this area.
Oh, he's describing her based on an assumption linked to the location. An assumption he could only make if he had some knowledge.
Exactly. It was a huge tell. He tries to backtrack immediately, but, the damage is done. It suggests prior knowledge.
So the sergeant picks up on that, I assume.
Oh, yeah. He then confronts Getreu directly. Your DNA is on Leslie.
And Getreu's response? Still denial.
He feigns total ignorance, claims he has the slightest idea why his DNA would be there. But then he does something really strange. He volunteers information about DNA transfer, starts talking about how he knows it can be transferred through semen and from the mouth. He even makes a comment about how advances technology is getting good.
That is weird. It's like he's trying to show off his knowledge, maybe to seem cooperative or control the narrative.
Could be. Or maybe just nervousness spilling out, but it definitely raises eyebrows. Then the sergeant makes a really strategic move.
Okay.
He stops talking about just Leslie. He introduces the idea of 2 persons, 2 young women.
Shifting the focus. And Getreu.
Getreu takes the bait. He asks, what 2 persons?
Bingo. He just revealed he knows there's more than one victim connected to this line of questioning.
Absolutely. That question was inadvertent proof he knew about a second victim, and that second victim was Janet Taylor.
Janet Taylor. Tell us about her case.
Also 21 years old, her body was found dumped along Sand Hill Road in the same Stanford dish hiking area in 1974, just a year after Leslie.
And the cause of death?
The same. Assaulted and strangled. It became clear investigators were dealing with a serial killer responsible for both Leslie and Janet, a killer who'd been walking free for over 4 decades.
The evidence is just piling up. How is Getreu handling this pressure?
The cracks are definitely widening. At one point, he actually says something like, I think I'm at a point in my investigation that, I'm guilty, and that's it.
He says he's guilty.
He says that, but then seems to pull back. The pressure intensifies when another investigator joins the room. They really lay it out for him. Your DNA is undeniable. We know you committed this crime. What we don't know is why.
So they're pushing for a motive, a confession.
Right. But he still tries to backtrack on the guilt admission, saying, I'm not guilty. But then he says something incredibly revealing, truly chilling.
What do you say?
He says, I knew that this day was coming, but why it took so damn long.
Wow. Not remorse, but almost annoyance that it took so long to catch him.
It's a disturbing insight, isn't it? To carry that know it might come and then resent the timing.
And does he keep slipping up?
Yes. As they press him specifically about Leslie, he again brings up two people, two girls. He mentions them being killed within probably an hour of each other or day.
He's connecting them himself now.
He is. And he tries this strange rationalization, saying Leslie wasn't the girl that you killed, as if trying to mentally separate the acts or confuse the issue.
It sounds like he's cornered, mentally scrambling.
Completely. The investigators really hammer the point home in a final confrontation. They lay out everything. The Germany conviction, the Palo Alto assault, the DNA linking him to both Leslie and Janet.
The whole pattern.
The whole pattern. And they ask him, essentially, what do you think the chances are of all this being coincidence? Of it happening to one innocent man?
And his response to that?
He just shuts down, says there's a brick wall, says he has nothing else to say.
He hits his limit.
Yeah. After decades of living this double life, of evasion, of keeping these secrets buried, John Arthur Getreu finally says the words, I'd like a lawyer.
And that's the end of the interrogation.
That's the end of the interrogation. And justice finally starts to move quickly. Getreu, 74 years old, was arrested and booked into Santa Clara County Jail in January 2019. His bond was set at $10 million.
And they confirmed the DNA for the second victim too, Janet Taylor?
Yes. DNA found on the torn crotch of Janet Taylor's underwear was also confirmed as a match to Getreu. Irrefutable forensic evidence linking him to both murders.
So the trial for Janet Taylor first.
Right. In September 2021, a jury found him guilty of first-degree murder. With the enhancement for infliction of great bodily injury in Janet's killing, he got 7 years to life for that.
And then Leslie Perloff's case.
For Leslie's murder in January 2023, he actually pleaded guilty. He received a second life sentence for her murder, set to be served consecutively, one after the other.
So finally held accountable after almost half a century.
Finally, John Getreu died of natural causes in prison on September 22nd, 2023. He was 79 years old. His death closed the final chapter on a serial killer who evaded justice for decades.
And his DNA, it's still useful.
Absolutely. It remains in the state database. It continues to be compared against evidence from other unsolved murders. There's always hope it might help close even more cold cases.
What a story. It starts with this seemingly mundane event, a fake car accident.
Yeah, just an ordinary morning.
And it unravels this meticulously hidden life, all brought down by the just tireless work of these cold case investigators and the incredible power of forensic science.
It really is a chilling reminder, isn't it? How long secrets like that can actually be kept buried. But also how eventually, even after decades, the truth can find its way out.
Definitely. And this deep dive really underscores those incredible advancements in forensic DNA, especially the genetic genealogy part. It makes you wonder, doesn't it?
It does. What impact do you think this continuing evolution of science, this ability to reach back into the past with such precision, what impact will it have on how we understand historical crimes? And maybe even, on the nature of justice itself going forward?